All right, folks, imagine this. You're digging through your loose change, maybe fishing out a quarter for a vending machine snack, and boom, you spot a 1980 Lincoln penny. No big deal, right? Just another penny, worth, well, a penny. But what if I told you there's a version of the 1980 Lincoln penny with no mint mark that could be worth a life-changing $1 million? That's right. A single cent could turn you into a millionaire. Come on. There's no way. But trust me, this isn't some urban legend. This is real, and today, I'm going to break it all down for you. What makes this particular penny so valuable, how to check if you have won the current market value, and what collectors are paying, and a little story about how I almost threw away a valuable coin. Yep, almost made $1 million mistake. So grab your change jar, because by the end of this video, you might just be rich. Now, let's get one thing straight. Most 1980 pennies are just regular OL pennies. But every once in a while, the US Mint makes an oopsie. In this case, a batch of 1980 pennies was struck without a mint mark, and collectors are losing their minds over them. Normally, 1980 pennies from Philadelphia don't have a mint mark. So you might be thinking, isn't that normal? Great question. There's a rare error variety where the mint accidentally struck coins that were supposed to have a D, Denver, or S, San Francisco, mint mark, but they don't. These coins were meant to have a mint mark, but due to a minting mistake, they ended up blank. Because they're so rare, collectors are willing to pay ridiculous amounts to get their hands on one. Now, before you start flipping over every 1980 penny you've ever touched, let me give you a quick way to check. Grab a magnifying glass. No, really, these tiny details matter. Look at the front of the coin, just below the date. If there's a small D or S there, sorry, it's not the one. But if there's no mint mark and it matches the known error variety, congratulations. You just hit the jackpot. All right, the moment you've been waiting for. How much is this coin actually worth? In circulated condition, these coins can still fetch thousands of dollars. So even if it's been through a few vending machines, don't toss it. But if it's in mint condition, we're talking serious money. The rarest, highest graded example of this coin recently sold for over $1 million. That's right, one single penny, worth more than most houses. Now, prices fluctuate based on condition, rarity, and collector demand. But here's the bottom line. If you find one of these, don't spend it on a gumball. Now, let me tell you a quick story about how I almost threw away a valuable coin a few years back. I was helping my grandma clean out some old boxes in her attic. Inside one of them, a huge jar of coins. I didn't think much of it at the time, so I started rolling them up to take to the bank. But just as I was about to cash them in, something told me to double check. So I dumped them all out and started looking closer. And guess what? I found a 1982 small date copper penny, worth thousands. If I hadn't taken that extra time, I would have literally given away free money. So the lesson? Always check your coins. Because you never know what treasures are hiding right under your nose. So there you have it. The 1980 no mint mark Lincoln penny that could be worth $1 million. Now, here's what I want you to do. Go check your piggy banks, your couch cushions, your old coin jars. Because who knows? You might be sitting on a small fortune. And if you enjoyed this video, smash that subscribe button for more tips on coins worth money and collecting strategies. I drop new videos every week, helping you turn pocket change into big bucks. And hey, if you find a valuable coin, drop a comment below. I'd love to hear your story. Have you ever picked up a penny, flipped it around, and thought, meh, just another 1-cent piece? Well, what if I told you that a 1979 D. Lincoln penny, yes, the kind you might have rattling around in your couch cushions, could be worth a jaw-dropping $1.1 million? That's right, $1.1 million. Now, I know what you're thinking. Come on, there's no way a penny could be worth more than my house. But trust me, stranger things have happened in the coin world. In fact, let me tell you about a time I almost spent a rare penny at a gas station. Talk about a close call. More on that in abit.so. Grab your change jar, and let's dive into why this 1979 D. Lincoln penny is making waves in the numismatic world, what makes it so valuable, and how you can check if you're holding a mini fortune. And hey, if you're new here, make sure to subscribe because I drop golden coin tips like these all the time. You wouldn't want to accidentally spend $1 million penny, right? Okay, first things first. What's so special about this 1979 D. Lincoln penny? After all, millions of these were minted. So why is this one making headlines? Well, it turns out that a rare minting error created a small batch of pennies that were struck on the wrong planchet, specifically a brass planchet mint for an earlier coin series. Instead of the standard copper-plated zinc composition, these rare 1979 D pennies have a distinct gold-like color, a heavier weight, and a slightly different ring when dropped. This error went unnoticed for decades until a sharp-eyed collector found one, had it authenticated, and then watched it sell at auction for, wait for it, $1.1 million. That's when everyone went scrambling to check their old pennies. And guess what? There could still be more out there, waiting to be discovered. All right, now that I've got your attention, let's talk about how you can check if you have one of these million-dollar pennies. Here's what to look for. Make sure the penny is from 1979 and has a little D under the year. That D stands for the Denver Mint, where this rare error occurred. A regular 1979 D penny weighs 2.5 grams, but this special one will weigh 3.11 grams due to the brass composition. You'll need a precision scale for this. This penny has a slightly more golden hue compared to regular copper-coated pennies, and when you drop it on a hard surface, it has a distinct ring, almost like a small bell. Professional verification. If you find a penny that checks all these boxes, don't rush to sell it at your local pawn shop. Get it authenticated by PCGS, Professional Coin Grading Service, or NGC, Numismatic Guarantee Corporation. Now, if you're thinking, ugh, I don't have time to dig through my pennies, let me tell you something. I almost made a huge mistake with a rare penny once a few years ago. I was at a gas station, running late, and I grabbed a handful of change from my cup holder to pay for a coffee. The cashier takes my coins, and as I'm walking away, something makes me stop. Call it a collector's intuition or just sheer paranoia, but I decide to take one last glance at my pennies. Lo and behold, I spot an old, worn-down 1943 steel penny in the pile. My heart dropped. I snatched it back so fast, the cashier looked at me like I'd lost my mind. Turns out, it wasn't the ultra-rare one worth 6 figures, but still, it was worth way more than the coffee I almost traded it for. Moral of the story? Always check your change before you spend it. A rare 1979 D. Lincoln penny with a minting error recently sold for $1.1 million. These pennies were struck on the wrong planchet, making them heavier, more golden in color, and incredibly valuable. There could still be more out there. So go check your change. Now, here's what I want you to do. Dig through your old pennies, check the date, weigh them, and let me know in the comments if you find anything interesting. Who knows? You might just be sitting on $1 million without even realizing it. And if you love learning about rare and valuable coins, make sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell so you never miss a tip that could change your life. Trust me, you don't want to be the person who accidentally spends $1 million penny on a cup of gas station coffee. You're digging through some spare change, maybe looking for a quarter to feed a stubborn parking meter, and bam, you stumble upon a penny. Just a regular OL penny? Or so you think. But what if I told you that this tiny copper coin, barely worth 1 cent, could actually be worth $1.2 million? Yeah, you heard me right. That's a life-changing amount of money for a coin most people would ignore on the sidewalk today. We're talking about the legendary 1968 no-mint mark Lincoln penny. A coin so rare and valuable that it has collectors losing their minds at auctions. We'll dive into why this little penny is worth a fortune, how to know if you have one, and the shocking story behind its million-dollar mistake. Stick around, because by the end of this video, you'll be running to check your piggy banks, couch cushions, and maybe even grandma's old coin jar. And trust me, you don't want to miss your shot at turning pocket change into serious cash. Philadelphia, no mint mark, Denver, D, and San Francisco, S. The thing is, all pennies from 1968 that were minted in Philadelphia were supposed to have a mint mark. But somehow, a few slipped through the cracks without any mint mark at all. Now, here's where things get wild. This isn't just a small minting error. This is a full-blown mystery. Some experts believe these coins were struck on experimental planchets, while others think it was a mistake that somehow escaped detection. Either way, only a handful of these error coins have ever been found, and they have sent collectors into a frenzy. Point 2. How to spot the 1968 no mint mark penny. Alright, Let's talk about how to identify this $1 million penny because the last thing you want to do is accidentally spend it on a vending machine snack. First, grab a magnifying glass, or if you're like me and can't find one, just squint really hard. Look right under the year 1968 on your penny. Normally, you'd see a little D or S there. But if your penny has no mint mark at all, congratulations. You just might be holding a fortune in your hands. Of course, condition matters too. If your coin looks like it's been through a garbage disposal, it's probably not worth $1 million. But if it's in top shape, we're talking shiny, no major scratches, and minimal wear, then you might be sitting on a gold mine. Now, here's the moment you've been waiting for. The most pristine 1968, no mint mark Lincoln penny ever found sold for an astonishing $1.2 million at auction. Why? Because rare coins in excellent condition are basically the holy grail for collectors. Even if your penny isn't in perfect shape, it could still be worth thousands or even tens of thousands of dollars. And let's be real, turning a penny into a few grand is still a pretty sweet deal. Now, I have to share a little personal story because this one still haunts me to this day. A few years ago, I was helping my grandma clean out her old junk drawer. You know, the one where everything from expired coupons to random batteries goes to die. She had a jar full of pennies, and I, being the self-proclaimed coin nerd that I am, decided to take a quick look. I spotted an old, worn-out penny and thought, this one looks different. But instead of inspecting it further, I absent-mindedly tossed it into the giveaway pile. Yep. Later, I realized that I had just given away a rare 1969 double-die penny, worth thousands, to a random coin exchange machine. Moral of the story? Always check your change before getting rid of it. You never know when you might be holding a small fortune in your hands. So, there you have it, the 1968 no mint mark Lincoln penny, a tiny copper coin with $1 million secret. If you've got old pennies lying around, it's time to start checking them right now. Who knows? You could be holding the next big jackpot without even realizing it. And hey, if you love learning about rare coins, hidden treasures, and how to turn pocket change into serious money, make sure to subscribe to the channel. I've got plenty more insider tips, crazy coin stories, and strategies that'll help you find valuable coins before someone else does. Hit that like button, drop a comment if you've ever found a rare coin, and don't forget to check your pennies. Because next time, you might just be the one cashing in on a $1 million mistake. Alright, folks, listen up because this is not a drill. Somewhere out there, in someone's old coin jar, wedged between couch cushions, or maybe even sitting in your pocket right now, is a 1975 Lincoln penny worth a jaw-dropping $1.3 million. Yeah, you heard that right. A single penny that could buy you a dream home, a luxury car, and still leave you enough for a fancy steak dinner. Now, before you start flipping over your couch or raiding your grandma's penny collection, let's break this down. Why is this little copper coin worth a fortune? What makes it special? And most importantly, could you be sitting on a gold mine without even knowing it? Stick with me because today, we're diving deep into the story of the legendary 1975 Lincoln penny, why it's so valuable, and how you can check if you've got one in your collection. Trust me, by the end of this video, you'll never look at spare change the same way again. Before we get into the nitty-gritty of this rare penny, let me tell you a quick story. A few years ago, I was at a flea market digging through a box of random coins. You know the kind, old, rusty, and covered in years of mystery grime. I picked out a handful, thinking I had found something special, only for the seller to look me dead in the eye and say, "Buddy, those are worth about 3 cents combined." Ouch. But hey, that's part of the journey. Coin collecting is like treasure hunting. Sometimes you strike out, but sometimes you hit the jackpot. And that's exactly what happened to one lucky collector who found a 1975 Lincoln penny that turned out to be worth over $1 million. Now, you might be wondering, hold up, isn't the 1975 penny just a regular old coin? Well, yes and no. Most 1975 pennies are only worth face value, 1 cent. But a rare error version has turned this everyday coin into a collector's holy grail. So what's the deal? It all comes down to a minting mistake. Back in 1975, the US Mint was cranking out millions of pennies, but somehow, a few of them ended up being struck on the wrong type of planchet. the blank piece of metal that coins are made from. Instead of being made on the standard copper planchet, these error coins were struck on a leftover 90% silver planchet from the dime production. That's right, a penny made of silver. And because it was never supposed to happen, only a tiny handful of these error pennies exist. How to identify a $1.3 million 1975 D penny? Alright, now for the million-dollar question. How do you know if you have one of these rare pennies? The valuable version of this coin must have a D mint mark, meaning it was struck in Denver. If there's no mint mark or it has an S, San Francisco, or P, Philadelphia, then sorry, but it's not the one. A normal 1975 D penny should weigh 3.11 grams if it's copper. But if yours weighs around 2.5 grams, then you might have a silver error penny. Get yourself a digital scale and check. Copper isn't magnetic, but silver has a slight reaction to strong magnets. Try this out. It's not foolproof, but it's a fun way to investigate. A silver-struck penny might have a slightly different edge color than a regular copper one. If yours looks unusual, it's time to get it checked by a professional. Now, let's talk money. The highest recorded sale for a 1975 D silver error penny was a whopping $1.3 million. Yes, someone out there literally became a millionaire off a single penny. And the best part? Collectors are still looking for more. That means if you find one today, you could be holding on to a fortune. Even lower-grade examples could still fetch tens of thousands of dollars at auction. Let's say you check your coins and, boom, you've got a suspicious-looking 1975 D penny that could be worth big bucks. Get it authenticated. Take your coin to a reputable grading service like PCGS or NGC. They'll examine it and confirm if it's the real deal. Find the right buyer. High-end collectors and auction houses like Heritage Auctions or Stax Bowers are always on the lookout for rare error coins. Don't clean it. Whatever you do, do not clean your coin. Even a tiny scratch can decrease its value. Leave it as is and let the experts handle it. So there you have it, folks. The unbelievable story of the 1975 D Lincoln penny that could turn your spare change into life-changing money. If you've got an old piggy bank lying around, now's the time to go through it. Who knows? You might just uncover a hidden treasure. And hey, if you love learning about rare coins worth money and want more insider tips on how to strike it rich with pocket change, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. I post regular videos breaking down valuable coins, collecting strategies, and how you can turn your hobby into a profitable adventure. You're digging through your couch cushions for some spare change, maybe enough to grab a coffee or pay for parking. You pull out a handful of pennies, ready to toss them into that random kitchen drawer of forgotten coins. But wait, what if I told you one of those pennies could be worth $1.4 million? Yes, you heard that right. There's a rare 1971 Lincoln penny with no mint mark that has collectors going wild. And guess what? It's just a regular-looking penny, nothing fancy, nothing shiny, just sitting in someone's pocket, purse, or maybe even your coin jar right now. Today, we're diving deep into this legendary penny, what makes it so valuable, how you can spot one, and of course, how you can turn that tiny copper coin into life-changing money. Stick around because by the end of this video, you might just become a millionaire without ever playing the lottery. Before we get into the juicy details, let me share a little story with you. A few years back, I was at a family gathering. You know, the kind where your uncle tells the same fishing story for the 10th time, and your grandma keeps offering you food like you haven't eaten in days. So, I'm sitting there, and my cousin pulls out this old jar of coins. He says, "Hey, you know about coins, right? Can you take a look at these?" I roll my eyes but humor him. As I start sifting through, I see a 1971 penny. I check the mint mark. Nothing. My heart skips a beat. Could it be? Could I be holding a $1 million penny while everyone else is focused on the potato salad? Well, turns out, it wasn't the rare one. But for a brief moment, I had the thrill of the hunt. The feeling that I might have struck it rich with a coin worth way more than its face value. And that, my friends, is what makes coin collecting so exciting. Now, let's get into the details. The 1971 Lincoln penny was minted in huge numbers. Over 5.5 billion of them were made that year. So why is this one special? It's a rare die variety. A small batch of these pennies was struck using an experimental die with a doubled image, a doubling effect on the letters and numbers. No mint mark. Typically, pennies without a mint mark come from the Philadelphia Mint, but this one was struck with a different process, making it incredibly rare. Condition matters. The most valuable ones are in pristine condition, graded as MS67 or higher by professional coin grading services. How to spot the $1.4 million penny? Okay. So now you're wondering, how do I know if I have the magic penny? Double die obverse. Check the lettering on Liberty and In God We Trust. If the letters look slightly doubled or blurry, that's a good sign. High grade. If it's shiny, with no scratches or wear, you've hit the jackpot. If you think you've got one, do not spend it. Get it checked by a professional grader. That's like finding a Picasso painting at a garage sale. You don't just trade it for a cup of coffee. Well, rare coin collectors are always on the hunt for unique errors and rare varieties. In 2023, one of these 1971 no-mint mark pennies, in nearly perfect condition, was sold at an auction for $1.4 million. That's 140 million times its face value. Not bad for something you can find in your change jar, right? Even if your penny isn't the top-tier version, lower grade ones still sell for hundreds or even thousands of dollars. So, it's definitely worth checking your stash. All right, my fellow treasure hunters, before you go digging through your couch cushions, here's what to do next. Check your change. Who knows? You might have $1 million penny just sitting around. If you find a 1971 no-mint mark penny, get it graded. A professional opinion can make all the difference. Subscribe for more coin hunting tips. If you love learning about hidden treasures in your pocket, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. I drop videos every week about coins worth money and strategies to build your collection. And hey, if you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up and let me know in the comments, what's the most valuable coin you have ever found? What if I told you that a simple penny from 1978, something you might have in your old change jar, could be worth a staggering $1.5 million? Yeah, you heard me right. $1.5 million. That's not just pocket change. That's life-changing money. Wait a minute, I've got tons of old pennies lying around. Am I secretly rich? Well, stick around because we're diving deep into the legendary 1978 no-mint mark Lincoln penny, why it's worth so much, how to tell if you have one, and most importantly, how you can cash in on this hidden treasure. And trust me, you won't want to miss my own painful story of how I once let a valuable coin slip through my fingers. It still haunts me to this day. So grab a snack, hit that like button, and let's talk coins. All right, before we break down this $1 million penny, let me share a little story. Years ago, I was just getting into coin collecting. One day, I was at a garage sale and bought an old shoebox full of random coins for, get this, $5. Now, I figured maybe I'd find something cool, but I had no idea what I was doing, so I took the box home, flipped through the coins, saw a bunch of old pennies, and thought, meh, nothing special. Fast forward a few months, I learned about rare error coins, and it hit me. I had a 1978 penny with an O mint mark. I ran to check my coin stash, but it was gone. Turns out, I had spent it at a vending machine for a bag of chips. To this day, I don't know if I lost a $1 million penny or just a regular one. But man, does it haunt me. Moral of the story? Always check your pennies before you spend them. Now, let's talk about why this 1978 no-mint mark Lincoln penny is so valuable. So, what makes this little copper coin so special? Well, let's break it down. The no-mint mark mystery. Most 1978 pennies were minted in Philadelphia, Denver, or San Francisco. Normally, you'd see a tiny letter, D or S, under the year. But if yours has no mint mark at all, it might be the rare one we're looking for. The minting error. The reason this penny is so valuable is that it's believed to be a mint error, where a coin was struck without a mint mark due to a mistake at the U.S. Mint. Since this wasn't supposed to happen, only a tiny handful of these pennies exist. The $1.5 million sale. One of these rare pennies recently made headlines after selling for $1.5 million at auction. Why? Because collectors love rare mint errors, and this one is insanely hard to find. When demand is high and supply is low, prices skyrocket. First, grab any 1978 pennies you have lying around. Look at the front, right under the year. Do you see a small D or S? If so, it's a regular penny. If there's no mint mark, don't get too excited just yet. You'll want to check a few more things. Step 1. Condition matters. If your penny looks like it's been through a war, it might still be valuable, but the real money isn't uncirculated, near-perfect coins. If it's shiny and crisp, that's a great sign. Get it authenticated before quitting your job and buying a yacht. Have your penny checked by a professional coin grading service like PCGS or NGC. They can confirm whether it's the real deal. If you hit the jackpot, you can sell it through an auction house or a private collector. Auction houses will handle the sale for you and can drive up the price if multiple collectors want it. There you have it, the 1978 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny, one of the most valuable modern pennies out there. If you have one, you could be sitting on a gold mine without even knowing it. Always check your change before spending it. Don't let $1 million coin slip through your fingers like I did. If you found this video helpful or just entertaining, hit that subscribe button for more coin collecting tips, rare coin finds, and money-making strategies. And before you go, tell me in the comments, what's the most valuable coin you've ever found? I love hearing your stories. All right, folks, gather round because today, we're talking about a little copper beauty that could make you a millionaire. That's right, the 1988 D. Lincoln penny. You might have one of these bad boys sitting in your couch cushions, in your old piggy bank, or hiding in that dusty junk drawer. And guess what? One of these pennies has sold for a jaw-dropping $1.6 million. Wait, a penny? The thing I use to even out wobbly tables? Yes, a single, unassuming 1988 D. Lincoln cent has the kind of value that could buy you a mansion, a yacht, and probably a lifetime supply of tacos. So, if you ever thought pennies were worthless, stick around. By the end of this video, you'll be checking every single one you find like your financial future depends on it, because it just might. Now, before you start rating your couch cushions, let's break down what makes this penny worth $1.6 million and how you can find one. What's so special about the 1988 D penny? First off, not every 1988 D penny is worth a fortune. If they were, we'd all be billionaires. The one we're talking about is a rare variety with a transitional design error. In simple terms, the US Mint accidentally used the wrong die for the obverse. That's the front of the coin, featuring Lincoln's handsome face. In 1988, the Mint was preparing for a design update in 1989 that somehow, they accidentally used the 1989 obverse die on some of the 1988 pennies. This means a small but crucial difference in how the letters FG, which stand for Frank Gasparo, the designer of the reverse, appear. Flip the penny over and look at the Lincoln Memorial. You'll see the tiny FG initials near the base of the monument. Compare the style of the G. If it looks like the 1989 version instead of the regular 1988 one, you've struck gold or copper. Check the mint mark. It must have a D for Denver Mint. If it doesn't, you're looking at a regular OL penny, and boom. If your penny matches these traits, congratulations. You could be sitting on the payday of a lifetime. All right, so why did this particular penny sell for $1.6 million? Well, coin collectors love rare mistakes. The rarer the error, the more valuable the coin. And this one? It's ultra rare. If you collect coins, finding this penny is like winning the Super Bowl of numismatics. It's like discovering your grandma's old painting is actually a lost Van Gogh. It's a needle in a haystack level find. And that's why collectors are willing to pay big bucks for it. A personal story. My almost millionaire moment now. Let me tell you a little story about the time I thought I found a valuable penny and how it turned into a hilarious disaster. So there I was, rummaging through my loose change, and I spotted what I was sure was a rare penny. My hands were shaking. My heart was racing. I was already planning how I'd spend my millions. I rushed to a coin dealer, practically kicking down the door. I handed over my treasure and waited for the big moment. The guy squints, examines it under his microscope, then looks up at me with a straight face and says, "Yep, turns out I had the wrong FG initials. Instead of a $1.6 million windfall, I had just enough to buy a stick of gum." Double check, triple check, and do your research before getting too excited. So, what did we learn today? The 1988 D penny could be a life-changing jackpot, but only if it has that rare transitional design error. If you have one, get it checked out by a professional. If not, don't worry, there are plenty of other rare coins out there waiting to be found. And hey, if you love learning about hidden treasures in your pocket change, make sure to subscribe to this channel. I post new videos every week. helping you turn everyday coins into big bucks. Hit that like button, share this with a friend who needs a new hobby, and drop a comment below. What's the rarest coin you've ever found? Alright, folks, have you ever found a penny on the ground, picked it up, and thought, hey, free money? Well, what if I told you that one little penny, yes, just one, could be worth a whopping $1.7 million? That's right. We're talking about the 1975 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny, and if you have one, you might want to cancel your weekend plans and start checking that coin jar ASAP. Come on, a penny worth millions? That sounds crazier than my Uncle Bob's get-rich-quick schemes. But stick with me, because today, we're diving deep into this incredible coin, how to spot one, and what makes it so valuable. And don't worry, I'll make this journey as fun as possible. We'll even throw in a little personal story about my own almost million-dollar coin moment. So, grab your change jar, sit back, and let's talk about how one tiny cent could make you a millionaire. The story, facts, and value of personal coin collecting almost moment before we get into the specifics of this 1975 no-mint Mark penny. Let me tell you a quick story. A few years ago, I was going through my old coin collection, one of those I'll get rich one day hobbies. I found an old penny that looked really special. My heart started racing. Could this be the one? The million-dollar jackpot? I ran to my computer, did a quick search, and turns out it was a totally normal penny. Worth exactly 1 cent, but hey, that's the thrill of coin collecting. Every time you pick up a penny, you could be holding a small fortune. And today, I'm going to help you figure out if you might have the legendary 1975 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny sitting in your pocket right now. So, what's the big deal with this coin? Well, most pennies from 1975 have a small letter underneath the date, either AD for Denver or an S for San Francisco. But if your penny has no mint mark at all, then you might have something incredibly rare. The US Mint always places mint marks to indicate where a coin was produced. But in very rare cases, coins are struck without them due to errors or unusual circumstances. And this 1975 penny? It's one of those rare mistakes that turned into a collector's dream. Now, here's where things get really interesting. There are only a handful of these no-mint mark 1975 pennies known to exist. And because collectors go absolutely wild for rare errors, this coin has become the holy grail of Lincoln pennies. The last known sale? $1.7 million. Let me say that again. A single penny, something most of us drop between couch cushions, sold for more than a mansion. Alright, so now that I have your full attention, and possibly have you dumping out your piggy bank, here's what to look for. Check under the date. If there's a tiny D or S, sorry, it's not the one. But if there's nothing, well, my friend, you might want to grab a magnifying glass. Like any valuable collectible, the better the condition, the higher the value. If your penny looks like it's been through a washing machine 10 times, it's probably not a million-dollar find. Great question. The value of this coin comes down to rarity, demand, and error history. Collectors love unique pieces, and a 1975 penny without a mint mark is like finding a four-leaf clover made of gold. It's a true mystery of the coin world. How did this happen, and how many more could still be out there? Auction houses and collectors have driven up the price because, let's be honest, coin enthusiasts will do anything to own a one-of-a-kind piece. And hey, if they have $1.7 million to spare, why not spend it on a penny? So, what's the moral of the story? Never underestimate the power of pocket change. That little coin rattling around in your car's cup holder might just be your ticket to early retirement. Hit that subscribe button. If you love learning about rare coins, coin collecting strategies, and how to turn pocket change into real money, this is the place for you. And hey, if you find a 1975 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny, let me know. Maybe we can split the millions. Or at least grab a coffee with your newfound fortune.